Hi, I'm Rebecca and I taught off-body hooping today at Wildfire. In the class we covered some of the very basics of off-body hooping. And off-body hooping is a very general term. It pretty much means everything that isn't here. So in class we covered some simple hand kind of hooping. Hooping in front, where you want to keep it between your thumb and your index finger. And hooping in back. And overhead, and also by your sides. You can hoop with both hands or one hand. We went over doing a weave. So when you do the weave, your thumb, when you do the forward weave, your thumb is leading. It looks like this. And when you do the reverse weave, your pinky side of your hand is leading. And we went over the windmill as well, which are pretty much the same. And keeping a loose grip helps a real lot with this. If your hand is really tight and you're holding it very tightly, it can be really difficult to do some of these moves. We also did a 3-petal flower in the hoop, which we broke down real small, so it's like that with the flower at the top and the sides. And also you can do it so that the petals are, so that the triangle's upside down. That. We went over isolations, and for the simplest isolation, you hold it with your hand and go away from your body up to the top, and then down on the other side. This is the isolation with both hands. And the isolation with one hand, you hold and follow the path of the hoop and let it roll over your hand at the top. We also talked briefly about iso pops, which are where you're doing an isolation and the hoop pops out from one spot. I think this is easiest to do by hooping on doing your isolation and then stopping and letting the hoop do a regular circle and come back. We also talked about axis flips, which are fun to do from a weave. And an axis flip is where you rotate the hoop around itself, around its center. So for the axis flip, your hoop comes out, your thumb is down, and your palm is away from you. Your thumb turns up and over, and then your hoop drops back towards you to go back into the starting position. So faster, just like this.
Not much else on stamping.
And you can do this in other places. You do it up. And also here. This is a type of an axis flip as well. So, with dropping it, we went over a couple of lifts from the ground. Blocking between your toe and your shin, you press the hoop up. Also the other way, from your pinky to your shin, and from the inside of the hoop, where you press your foot so it pushes around. And that way you can pick the hoop up from the ground without having to bend over. We talked about the hinge hold, which is this one, where it swings like a door, and about pushing the hoop. And about all types of ways to spin with the hoop without actually spinning it. Pretty fun. And another type of a hinge trick that is fun, if you're in the hoop, flip it out, come back. And you can do this in any pattern that you like. And also you can use it to change your plane, like the plane your hoop is in. So here I'm horizontal, flip it over, come back, and I'm vertical. Today in class we also had a guest teacher. This is Blake.
Hello, myself, Annie, and also Randy all helped out in class. I did a little bit on hoop rolls. For contact rolls, you need a somewhat small hoop. It needs to be a little bit heavy, and it needs to be not bouncy whatsoever. Unfortunately, for this demonstration, I have a small hoop. It's somewhat heavy. It's extremely bouncy, so when I do it, it's going to fly off my shoulder rather than working right. we talked about a little bit to begin with contact, just one hand out loosely in front of you and rolling over the backs of your hands just to get used to the feeling of it. Once you do that, you can roll over your elbow. People who also do staff will notice this is the beginning of the conveyor. So you can roll over your elbow into your hand, back out over the other elbow. You can also roll them together in a prayer. And I'm going to mess this one up because it's bouncy, but you can also roll them straight across. Our friend Annie does something that I can't get at all, but I'm going to pretend to do because she's off taking a class, which is she goes from her elbow here, there to the other side. There's also, the most popular hoop rolls are eagle rolls. There's a front side and a back side. The trick to it is your wrist comes straight up. You don't throw it at all. You never throw it and bounce. It always just rolls right here. You never bend your elbow. So the behind the back one is, as I said with bounce, is that one. Let me try one more time. Is there. And in front of you one is there. The last kind of thing we talked about are just like rolling on the ground. I don't really know what it's called. Things that little kids do that are really fun. If you roll it there, it comes back to you. There's a throw up to here. And Randy showed an absolutely ridiculously fun one where it comes here, your foot goes through, and you kick up.
Also, when we were talking about the rolls, some of us went over elbow hooping, which looks like this, hoop on your elbow. I do it by putting my hand on my collarbone. It helps stabilize my arm and keep it straight. The movement for this is up and down. And if it starts to creep up your arm, get close to your face, you can push it back down by pushing your arm out. And I think that's most of what we covered in class today. I hope you enjoyed it a lot, and see you next time.